Are you ready for some cozy? Come along with me today as I make some easy chili and this delicious coconut cake. Even if you don't have a fire in your fireplace, snuggle under a blanket and wear your coziest wool socks because I guarantee you're going to enjoy some of these beginner-friendly meals I make. As always, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Today, I stopped by my local grocery outlet. You know, I love that store and all the amazing deals you can get. And I couldn't help but notice this Dolly Parton cake mix. We love coconut, so I had to get the coconut. And I don't like super thick frosting, so I got whipped topping. I got some shredded coconut, and I thought this would be a great dessert for a meal tonight. I wanted to make some chili. I couldn't believe I got that ground turkey for $1 a pound. I picked up some organic diced tomatoes, which was also a steal. This Wagyu beef and this Kobe beef was $2 off. It's never that cheap, so I took advantage of that. And then because it's after Halloween, of course, this Cap'n Crunch is 99 cents. I know it's junky, but my kids thought I was a fun mom. All right. First, I am starting with some beans from scratch. As you know, it is much cheaper to buy it dry, and it's really easy to make once you get past that intimidation factor. I soaked mine overnight. With the Instant Pot, I've noticed I have been able to make it without soaking it, and it still turns out good. But if you're like me and you aren't sure what you're going to use your Instant Pot for, or you only have a crock pot, totally fine. You would soak them, and then it helps your body digest it better. If you're using the crock pot, I like to do it overnight. If you're using the Instant Pot, it seriously takes anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. Some people might even say less. All right, while that cooks, before I make my chili, I wanted to make my Dolly Parton coconut cake. Here you'll notice I'm tracing some parchment paper. I love seeing people on baking shows do this, and after I've baked and cooked so many times, I used to be so amazed at how fast they could put recipes together on those shows. But now it's really just like second nature. But I decided, just like with my sourdough, I have a sling that has handles. So I cut a little sling so that it would be easier to slide the cake out. Now, while I make this, I wanted to talk a little bit about being a beginner. If you are watching this video and you are intimidated by cooking, you've never considered yourself a cook or a baker, you feel like you've always burned everything you made or it doesn't taste as good, then this video is definitely for you. Or maybe you're the kind of person who you want to stop going to the drive-thru so much. You want to stop buying convenience food. And there could be a lot of reasons for this. Maybe it is really taking a hit on your budget. So you are noticing how expensive it gets and you want to make a change. Maybe it is something that you've always wanted to do and you just need a little bit of encouragement. As you know, on this channel, I offer encouragement as much as I can, and that is everywhere from cooking to homemaking encouragement to motherhood encouragement. And as this channel suggests, I am a proud Catholic wife and mother, so I'll always do faith-based encouragement as well. So anyhow, if you just need someone to tell you, yes, you can do it. Yes, it's okay if you make something from a box and you just add a few ingredients and there's only 5 steps or fewer. Guess what? Even professionals appreciate simple steps. They want to use minimal ingredients, and you don't have to be fancy in everyday life. I have found that the people I cook for are so forgiving because most people, they are not super picky when it comes to a home-cooked meal that someone else made from love. I know that there are picky eaters out there, and it's great that family and friends want to make you a better cook and they want you to improve. They might tell you to add salt here and there, but for the most part, people who love you, they are just glad they are not the ones who had to make it. They're hungry and you did something that you met a need. So if you're out there feeling intimidated, just take a look at this. I didn't even evenly mix all of this. I still had some dry ingredients on the bottom of my bowl that I had to correct, and it still turned out great. My family, my friends loved this cake, and we are not even cake people. So if you have an area in your life like cooking or baking where you've always wanted to do it, but you're so intimidated or you don't even know where to start, just start. The thing I love about cooking and baking from scratch is that you have to eat anyway. So the fact that you are adopting a hobby, adopting a skill that is useful and practical for your family, who doesn't love food? People consider it a love language. When you make them a meal, they know that it came from someplace beautiful, someplace deep inside your heart, and they receive it so well, they feel like you just handed them $1,000,000. All right, so here I am putting the whipped topping on, and again, I prefer this most of the time over a buttercream frosting. Sometimes I'll do a cream cheese frosting, but my family seems to be perfectly happy with just some basic whipped topping. The other thing I want to mention is if you're a beginner, I might have mentioned this before, but it begs saying it again. I remember my mother-in-law telling me when I first joined the family, if you can read, then you can cook. I am still looking up recipes. I am still having to learn how to make new things. Even though I have the general gist, I'm getting better at managing my time. I'm getting better at not buying $50 in ingredients to make one thing I'll never make again. I'm getting better at understanding what do I have in my pantry and what do I, if I just need to add a few more ingredients. And that comes with time. So just like with anything else, you get better if you just keep at it. So I want to talk a little bit about our calling as wives, mothers, as women. If you're watching and you fit any of these categories, or even if you don't fit this category, I think serving others through our talents, I say this over and over again, it is pleasing to God. So even if you feel like you make something that isn't Michelin star, you're never going to be the head chef at a restaurant, the fact that you gave your heart, God loves to see that you were charitable in that way. God loves to see that you are trying to use your brains and your hard work to be a good steward and to be hospitable to those around you. And I know that it can, be frustrating when you do try and then it doesn't go well and you tell yourself, I could have saved more money and gotten something much better if I just went ahead and bought the fast food meal or that make-ahead meal from the grocery store. Instead, now it didn't go well, I wasted my money, and now I have to spend even more money because my family is still hungry. They're definitely not going to eat this. But every experience is a learning experience. So it wasn't wasted because you learned what not to do. And I think that is something that we should think about, that God doesn't create, error. He doesn't create things. He doesn't put these roadblocks in our way so that we can just be miserable. Instead, it is so that we can grow in our intelligence and our experience, and we can grow to that perfection. We are growing in confidence. And I know that every time I get better at something, I thank God that He gave me these opportunities. I thank God for these learning experiences. And so it's all for good. It just depends on your perspective. And I'm not saying it's easy. I will tell you that so many days, so many nights, I'm so exhausted. I really don't want to cook. But when you think about how quick and easy it's a lot easier than you think, especially if you plan ahead. And I don't even mean meal planning for an entire week. It could be on Sunday, think about thawing 3 or 4 meats from your freezer. And if you're thinking, I don't even have meat in my freezer, start buying little things. Instead of buying 2 pounds of ground beef, buy 4 and freeze the other half. Instead of buying one whole chicken, raw chicken, buy 3 of them and freeze 2. And then you'll start to build up what's in your freezer. And then on Saturday or Sunday, put a pound of ground beef, put a chicken in your fridge, and then you can cook it on the nights where you have more time to cook it, or you can batch cook meat and then turn it into easy pasta on a Tuesday, easy enchiladas on another day. You can do it. I'm here to tell you, all you have to do is believe you can do it and start today.